Thank you for listening to Comics for Fun and Profit. This is Kyle and Drew, and today we have another special episode for you.
Spoiler-filled. A spoiler-filled episode.
Spoiler warning, you've been warned. Drew and myself saw Endgame Thursday before it came out on Friday, the preview event. We sat there, we held our pee for 3 hours and 2 minutes. We soaked up all there was to do with the ending of Phase 3 of Marvel's MCU goodness, and we are here to tell you our thoughts all about it. I even have some stuff that might be spec-worthy in this that was rattling it around in my brain. I smacked my brother in the movie and said, hey, about a few different things, so I'm going to share those things with you guys as well. So hopefully you guys have seen Endgame. If you haven't, don't listen to this because I am incapable of talking about movies without spoiling everything because I'm not creative or clever enough to work around it. So watch the movie, put on this podcast, and then you can hear our thoughts about it as you decompress and wipe away the tears from Avengers Endgame. Episode 22, or whatever, of the first three phases of the MCU, Drew.
First and foremost, what an achievement, a cinematic achievement. This thing, I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. It was the greatest collective movie experience I've ever been a part of. Now, I've been a part of Star Wars, like the original Star Wars stuff, in a group. That was cool, but it was long ago and far away. I don't remember it as well. This thing, the collective gasps, the collective applause, spontaneous applause breaking out throughout the movie, the cheers. The sobbing.
Sorry about that. I didn't think you could hear.
It was not just you. It was really an amazing experience, and the movie delivered. I was concerned 5 minutes in. I will not deny I was concerned 5 minutes. Like, oh my god, they're really going to stretch this thing out, and then it started firing on all cylinders for me and did not let up until the end. I was riveted. I had the largest smile on my face through so many of these great action sequences and character moments. It was like stuck. I couldn't stop just smiling from ear to ear, grinning.
So first and foremost, you enjoyed this movie.
First and foremost, I loved this movie.
Okay, because we had people within our group that said, this is a really good movie. I did not have a lick of fun watching this movie.
You didn't?
Derek didn't. Your daughter didn't. There was people that just left angry, and it was too much. This movie is so heavy, so much going on. It ends not like any Marvel we're used to. It begins not like any Marvel we're used to. It's longer than any Marvel we're used to. It's completely different, and you do not come out the same. And some people, that didn't work.
Well, my daughter loved everything up until a certain point. And
yes.
Derek laughed harder than I did throughout it and seemed to really enjoy it. So he must have been hiding it well.
Yes. So, do you want to go through the plot, sir, or how do you want to do this?
I don't. First, I want to talk about the spontaneous applause breaks, and I
at least five,
at least 5 or 6. Spidey got 2.
Yeah, no doubt.
Captain Marvel got at least 2. The all-female squad that came together.
The A-Force, we're going to call them.
The A-Force. That upset you, but I enjoyed it very much.
It didn't upset me. It's obvious pandering, and it took me out of the movie because I'm like, oh, yay, we have our all-female shot. How weird that this isn't with Widow, though.
I think you're super insecure, but that's okay.
That's all right. We have different ways of looking at the world, and, whatever the internet says you'll go with.
Yeah, that's what it is. Anyway, the A-Force, I thought when Tony said, I am Iron Man, and snapped. That was a big one.
That was awesome.
The Thanos dissolve got some.
Cap and Mjolnir was the biggest one.
Cap getting the hammer was fantastic. I forgot about that. That was a good one.
The reveal of Fat Thor.
Yeah, Was it applause or was it just
that was a legit applause?
Legit applause. Yeah. So that we're at 6 or 7 right there.
Yeah.
I'm sure we've missed a couple. So I thought that I really thought that was pretty cool. You don't experience that in a lot of movies. Mm-hmm. Marvel movies you might get one or two. DC never. I thought that was great. This reminded me a little of how kind of Return of the King was like the culmination of the vision of Peter Jackson, and it was kind of rewarded as such with every award possible, and just because they were waiting for the end. I have a feeling that critics have been waiting to laud some hardware on Marvel, and they've got to give them some props for this.
And you know who in this movie deserves hardware lauded on?
Who?
Ant-Man. Man, Paul Rudd chewed some scenery in this movie. Yeah. Legit best acting I've seen in a Marvel movie. From the second he popped back into our universe,
yes,
I saw things from Paul Rudd in this that I'm like, man, he is doing work.
Yes. Yeah, he was hilarious. Fantastic.
Hilarious, emotional. The scenes with his daughter, the scenes with the monuments.
I'll take an Ant-Man 2 now.
Yeah. Well, 3. There's already 2 of them.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, phenomenal. But we start off with angry Avengers that have spent time looking for things. They see that Thanos has used the glove a second time, and they're out for blood. Captain Marvel's there. We very quickly get Tony and crap, what's her name? Nebula back very quickly back into our world. We get our fight and our argument between Iron Man and Cap. And eventually we say, we've got Captain Marvel, we've got everybody, let's go kill Thanos. Because Nebula knows exactly where he is, because he had a plan to retire here the whole time. So we go and we beat the ever-loving crap out of Thanos, lob his head off, and boom.
Seemed pretty easy.
Yeah. No issues. Thor comes right in, takes the hand off, does everything, lets him talk for a few seconds. When he says something douchey, boom, we lob his head off and we're done. But that's not satisfying because we don't get anybody back.
No.
And then they do something that shocked me. I don't know what you thought of it, but it shocked me. 5 years later.
Yes.
The balls to do that. That's amazing.
Yeah, so that means this is the end, right? And there's a 5-year gap where we
didn't rebuild society. Society still looks like garbage. Met Stadium looks like garbage.
So I don't know that you can tell stories with those heroes in that window. I don't know that you can do that because of the overreaching Thanos trauma.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell a Ronin murder story. You can tell a Captain Marvel flying through the galaxy story.
Yep.
You can tell essentially
Guardians.
You can tell a Rocket Raccoon doing whatever he was maybe story, but nothing really that interesting because it doesn't sound like there was any bad guys. Or
nothing on Earth. You can't tell anything on Earth.
Yeah. Everybody seems to be just reeling.
Yes. Yeah, so they jumped, and it was sad, depressing, and everybody was bummed. And and
then a rat steps on a switchboard.
Yeah.
Because a rat steps on a switchboard, boom, we get a green light. Boom, out from the quantum realm pops our boy Ant-Man. No clue what's going on, and he's got to figure it out. He goes trying to figure it out. 5 years later, we get a very interesting cameo from what's his face, the comedian from Hangover. was a very neat little non-worded cameo from
Oh,
him.
yes, yes.
Yeah. And then we get him back to his family. His daughter's still alive. He finds out he's actually, up there as dead because they just assumed he dusted away as well. But we get Cassie Lang as older. So if we get Cassie Lang as older, she's closer to maybe being her own character as well. Maybe a young Avengers character, because we'll get to more of that later. But we get an older Cassie Lang. So we get I can't remember what the name of her character is, but we get the option for her going past this. That's something that sparked in my mind as well. If we're doing more Young Avengers stuff off of this, But Ant-Man thinks he can fix everything. He thinks through the quantum realm, through time travel, we can fix this, because 5 years for him was 5 weeks or something like that. Is all it was when he was in the quantum realm.
Didn't you say 5 hours?
5 hours. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
So we get back, and then we find out we have Tony Stark. Tony Stark has a child. He's moved on. He's happy with Pepper, chilling in the woods, doing his thing. He has a daughter. He has the life he always wanted. He's happy. He's moved on. He doesn't want anything to do with this, but we see that the widows of the world, the Captain Americas of the world, a lot of other people just can't let go of the people that they've lost. We see that the world can't let go of the people they lost. Like I said, they aren't even really rebuilding. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
And we eventually hatch a plan. We eventually get Captain America.
What do you think of the Cap support group? Was that necessary?
No, that could have been cut.
Okay.
That definitely could have been cut out of 3 hours and 2 minutes.
All right.
I guess it shows that Cap's moved on, and he's, always telling people to move on because he moved on from Peggy Carter or whatever it is.
Yes.
He had always moved on, and we see he regresses in this movie, so I guess it sets up his characterization from the guy who always says, move on, that's not the life for me. The guy that went in the ice is a different guy that woke up 75 years later. Turns out to be all bullcrap. So, they're kind of, making sure you're still in column A when they switch you to column B. But we're 22 movies in. Who cares if that's more subtle than it needs to be?
Gotcha.
But we get Ronan back. We get Iron Man in. What did you think of Hulk being half Hulk, half Banner? Not complete Hulk, but just Green Banner.
I'm not sure why they did it, but I thought it was awesome and effective.
Yeah, so he's not like as big and as green quite, but he's a functional Hulk. He's the Joe Fix-It of the world, but not gray. He's sentient in all ways that are Hulk, wearing clothes, doing everything. But he's come to terms. He's no longer suicidal, depressed, and all this thing. So I like the fact that he's moved on from that. This also sets them up more for a World War Hulk, Planet Hulk, where he is more sentient and ability to essentially take over planets and stuff. So we might be setting up maybe his next things as well with that. All in all, I thought it worked. I loved his interaction with the kids and who he's become, and that he's become a real person now.
Yeah, I really liked the character. I thought it was a pretty cool move. I don't know why they decided to do it that way, but I guess because nobody wants to just sit and look at Mark Ruffalo unless he's Hulk. So
I didn't. So
yeah,
I was more than happy for this. Plus, he doesn't have to Hulk out. He just is who he is, and that's the end of it.
Yes.
Through all the gamma radiations he's done and all this stuff. So we're hatching a plan. We're going to go back in time. We've got just enough ping particles that we can all go back. Did
you call them ping particles?
PIM particles. My apologies. I don't always speak correctly. But we can go back. We can get all 5 stones. We're just borrowing them to snap things back into existence, and then we'll return them all, and everybody's happy. At least that's our plan.
Good plan.
So we know that 3 of them are back in New York. Soul Stone is where the Soul Stone always is. We're going to grab the Power Stone as soon as Star-Lord grabs it on the one planet that he grabs it from. And we're going to go back to get the Ether from one of the awful Thor movies and just deject it from Natalie Portman.
Yeah. I didn't remember that storyline at all. Did you?
I remember that she was sick from it, but like I remembered so little from those movies because it's easy to not have to remember so little from those movies.
Yeah, the sequel was really bad in comparison to what we've had.
Comparatively. But essentially, we get a really good scene with Ruffalo and the Ancient One, where in order to convince her to give him the Soul Stone, he lets slip that it was Strange's decision to give up the Time Stone. And she says, well, he's got it all under control, so I'm with you. And that was a really, really good scene. I really, really enjoyed that scene, that interaction, and all that stuff there.
Yeah, so the 1 in 14 million chance to beat Thanos had to be to let him have them all, snap his fingers at that time that would allow Scott to be stuck in the quantum realm long enough to come up with this plan.
That Tony would then do what he does at the end, yes.
Yeah, so everything had to line up perfectly in order for this 1 in 14 million chance to work.
Mm-hmm.
And it could have been derailed at multiple times.
Yes, and it is derailed.
Yes.
We have some difficulty with the Tesseract, but our boy Nick Spencer has to be screaming and cheering and jumping up and down. The internet can leave him alone. MCU Captain America did the old whispering Hail Hydra.
Yes.
There's got to be some redemption for Nick Spencer in that.
And that was pretty cool. You know, I didn't see that coming.
Not at all. So,
that was great.
That was cool, and then we get the Loki pokey stick again. But in this, we free 1995 Loki, or 2000, whatever it is, however many years ago Loki is able to escape. So perhaps our Disney movie or our Disney feature from Disney Plus that's going to deal with Loki will be what happens to that version of Loki when he escapes. Or does he escape and somehow get to us? I don't know.
Oh my God, my mind is blown.
Yes, so we have a Loki that escaped now that can do more things, and that's how we can continue to follow Loki's journey within either that universe or if he's somehow... I don't know how things on Asgard really work.
Yeah, exactly.
We get a great scene. Eventually, we don't want to talk about that yet. The biggest thing is in order to get the Soul Stone, we have to have a sacrifice of a soul for a soul, right?
Yep.
I did not see this coming.
Oh, I did. I just thought it was going to be Hawkeye.
Yes.
I assumed Hawkeye and Black Widow were, they would both be selfless enough to sacrifice themselves, but it would be Hawkeye ultimately who sacrificed himself, and he tried.
Yeah.
But Scarlett Johansson doesn't want to be Black Widow anymore, I'm guessing.
I'm guessing that Disney was having trouble justifying her not getting a solo project so much to the point where we had to kill her off.
Yeah, so I'm guessing that movie is dead in the water. That is no longer...
Because in all reality, nobody cares about an OG, older origin story about a character that's no longer in our world, in my mind.
Yeah. So she did the ultimate sacrifice and sacrificed herself. Hawkeye had to let her go and watch her die to get the Soul Stone. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that was sad. That was the first of many sad parts of this movie.
There you go. The blunder with the Tesseract gives our boy Tony and our boy Cap the ability to head back even farther into the 70s to get the Tesseract at a certain point. In doing that, they get to do the anti-time travel thing where they interact with people they're not supposed to interact with, be it the way that Captain America looks at his long-lost girlfriend that he never got that dance with and reignites a nice little fire in him that we go back to later.
Yep.
And Tony gets a awesome closure conversation with his father.
How cool was that? That was a wonderful touch. I did not think that would be as emotionally powerful as it was.
Yeah.
But it was pretty darn wonderful.
Yeah, it absolutely was.
And Robert Downey Jr. got to really stretch his legs in this movie. And and it had a lot of fun scenes.
Yeah.
And really got to kind of dominate the movie, really.
Yeah. Yeah, if you were looking for Robert Downey Jr. and Tony Stark to, end with as much, vigor and piss as they started with, and just kind of really set it off as, they started this and they have a giant hand in ending it, you got everything you needed in this movie.
Yes, definitely. So.
And in getting our power stone from Star-Lord.
Yes.
We find out that Nebula is so networked that when Nebula is near Nebula, Nebula crosses over with Nebula, and we get Nebula crosstalk, and Thanos finds out what's going on, yada, yada, yada. Good Nebula is captured, bad Nebula is sent back. And thus we have the makings for the ability to get our soul stone, or our 5 stones, to snap our fingers, to undo what was done, but to have Thanos right back again to clean up that mess once again.
Yes. And very cool scene. The snap was awesome.
Yeah.
Hulk got to do it.
Yep.
So I thought that was pretty neat. And then they didn't really get to enjoy it very long before Thanos enters and starts blowing stuff up.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really effective.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, we get them blowing stuff up. We get Hawkeye having to get the gauntlet and run out with it. And then we get our 3 characters facing off against Thanos. We got our Captain America, our Thor, and who's the third person walking up to him?
Iron Man.
Iron Man, that's right. Are our 3 people going to start off with Thanos? And, man, it's some good stuff. Of course, when we had I skipped a bunch of stuff with when Thor went back to Asgard, he talked to his mom and he stole Mjolnir again. So he was dual wielding the hammers.
Yeah.
But of course, the big thing with that is Cap gets to lift the hammer.
Yeah.
We saw in Age of Ultron, he was able to move it a tiny bit. Now, what happened between moving it a tiny bit in Age of Ultron and being able to full wield it here, Drew?
He tried harder?
No, he finally told Tony Stark he knew about the murder of his father. He finally got the Bucky thing off his chest. Finally told the truth about that.
When did that happen?
Himself. That was Civil War.
Oh, yeah, I hated that movie.
Yes. Oh, jeez, that's a whole new conversation. But finally unburned himself. He is now worthy, and boy, did he wield that hammer, and boy, was that a sweet, sweet scene.
That was great, and there were people like screaming at the top of their lungs when that happened.
Yeah.
Applause, and I'm sure I lost some dialogue because of some of the excitement that people had. But yeah, that was a very, very effective scene. Wonderful.
Yeah. And then Thanos calls forth his army. We get Corvus Glaive, and we get Proxima Midnight, and we get Ebony Maw, and everybody back for his side, including one Gamora. And we already had Nebula earlier because we already had the bad Nebula, so we have the good one back. All of these back in against, Doctor Strange time gates open, and boom, everybody's back. And boy, what a scene that was.
Yes. That was another applause break there, because that was so cool to see the armies facing off against each other, and on your left. That was pretty cool, and just a really feel good point of that movie for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we get just an absolutely epic battle with everybody just going ham on everybody.
And when we say everybody, we mean everybody. The cast is every single person that's ever touched an MCU movie.
Yeah.
That's still alive. And that's still alive pre the previous Avengers. So
yeah. We even get Pepper Potts in as Rescue. We get all kinds of good stuff back here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Very, very cool. And what an epic battle. That was so amazing. I loved it.
Yeah, it was super good. It gave me everything I get. Of course, the gunships begin to rain down upon us, and then we hear a big rumbling from the distance. And Drew, what happens then?
Which part?
Captain Marvel appears from the sky.
Oh, yes.
To do the thing where she totally goes binary, and boom, hole in the ship and takes it down again.
And you were worried this was the direction they were going.
Correct.
And so when she faced off with Thanos, I could feel you tense up.
Yep.
You weren't happy.
Yeah,
but
I don't want her to sweep in and steal the day from people that had 20 movies to get to this point. Correct.
Right.
But the fact that we had 2 hours without her in the movie helped a lot.
Yeah, but she didn't quite pull it off.
She didn't quite pull it off, and, you know, that was a dope scene where he pulls the Power Stone out and gives her the big old whack, and that's the end of it. Very well done to give the heroes that are supposed to be the heroes the opportunity to be the heroes, because we get Spidey being Spidey, we get Black Panther being Black Panther, we get all kinds of good stuff. We've got our Captain, our Thor moments. Everybody had their moments. And then Tony reaches up and grabs the gauntlet. Thanos pulls it away and snaps to kill everybody, but there are no stones on the gauntlet because Tony has them all.
and he's on the fly reprogrammed his suit to be able to absorb those? Or they were always able to do that?
I assume when he made the gauntlet, it just, I don't know. Those blueprints were still in his.
Yeah. And so that was cool. And I didn't know that using the Infinity Stones hurt you. Did they hurt? They didn't hurt Thanos in the last one.
Oh yeah, we saw the big explosion, and we talked about how charred and black his arm was.
Oh, okay.
So we knew that was, you know, we saw it more of a Hulk level where you're like, I'm pretty useless for a while.
Yeah. So Tony gets his because Thanos says, "I am destiny." No, I meant
I am inevitable.
I am inevitable, and then Tony gets to say, "I am Iron Man," and he snaps and wipes out all of Thanos' army. Everybody, every ship is gone.
Does that include 5 years ago Gamora?
I don't think so.
And I think it does. She's gone. Where'd she go if we can't find her now?
I think she was on the Asgardian ship with that whole group. Maybe.
Huh.
I think.
Okay. I'm under the impression that she snapped away as well.
Yeah, I mean, I could go that way too. But anyway, he said that he saves Thanos for last, or it takes longer to destroy him. Mm-hmm. He plops down, and we get to watch Thanos dissolve away, and it was very satisfying. Another applause broke out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, but it cost Tony a lot, didn't it?
Yep. What did it cost? Everything, and cost Tony his life. Parker doesn't handle it well. Pepper handles it quite well.
Yeah. She must be named in the will. She took it pretty easy, and heartbreaking with the Spider-Man stuff. Man, that kid is really great.
Yeah,
I'm ready for more Spidey movies.
There you go. We got one more here coming soon.
And so we say goodbye to Tony. We have a funeral gathering, I guess.
Yep,
at
we have
his
the funeral.
House. We get to see some goodbye messages from the helmet that he's been recording.
Yep, Tony had planned for this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. We have a large contingent of every actor that ever played a superhero out of costume in a suit. Anybody that was ever part of MCU is at this funeral, including one dude, the tall, lanky dude that I can't tell. I didn't know who it was. Did you figure it out?
Kid from Iron Man 3.
That is Kid from Iron Man 3.
Yes.
Who is Kid from Iron Man 3?
He was a boy at the time. The boy from Iron Man 3 who Tony helps and talks to and nurtures and all that fun stuff.
Man, and I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, so there is a kid in Iron Man 3, and he's the teenage boy that's like second or third to last in the funeral procession.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Tall, lanky kid.
Yes, absolutely. And we see, of course, Fury at the end. I did not see Maria Hill anywhere. I saw Colby Smolder's name, but I did not see Maria Hill anywhere in anything.
Yeah, she would have been back.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I
she
miss
was
things sometimes.
she was snapped away, so she would have been back. Interesting.
Yeah, but that's neither here nor there.
Yes.
So we get our end scene. Cap has to now take the stones back to their original location, take Mjolnir back to its original location, and he'll be right back in 5 seconds. Only he's not back in 5 seconds. He decides he's going to get that dance that he's wanted with his girlfriend this whole time. He's going to live his long, illustrious life, and we're going to see him at the ripe age old of 100 or some odd.
Yeah, because you're already 70, so.
Yeah. And you can tell that he's already told Bucky all this. Bucky's cool with all this. Bucky seems to know all of this ahead of time. Bucky seems to know that he's given the shield to Sam and all this stuff.
Yes. So we get to, which is kind of cool, we get to reboot Captain America with Sam Wilson's, just like we do in the comics.
Just like we did in the comics, which I have several of, so I'm hoping it blows up.
Yes. I think that was the original time. That's where Comicsgate a-holes started, when they saw a black Captain America. They got upset about it, and that's where it all started.
Was that or female Thor? It was one of the two.
Well, that predates it, and I'm pretty sure
Okay.
that's when Ethan Van Sciver and those D-bags started their chatter. So now it's an MCU, so fantastic. Let's embrace it. I hope it. I hope they do a movie. I think it'd be great.
Well, we're getting the show with Falcon and Bucky. So those are both people that have carried the Captain America mantle. So I imagine they'll both be wielding the shield quite a bit in whatever series that is.
Is this a Disney show? Disney streaming?
Yes, this is one of the Disney Pluses. This is.
Oh, and it's Bucky and Falcon.
Falcon Winter Soldier.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah, so we get that.
Okay, I'm down for that. Mm-hmm. And then is that it?
Yeah, that is. For all intents and purposes, it.
And there was no end credits. At least that's what the sign said.
There was no end credits, but at the very end of the movie, if you stayed for the whole thing, you hear 3 bangs on metal. And we're not sure if it's a harken back to Tony building the first Iron Man suit, where he's hammering the first Iron Man suit when he's trapped in the cave, or something else.
Yeah.
But that's all we're given.
Yeah. I didn't hear that. Did we stay for that?
No, we didn't.
Oh, okay. I really love where the main actors, the main Avengers, got a little special vanity card in the credits with their signature, and I thought that was a really nice send off. I mean, I thought it's a great send off for Chris Evans. He gets to retire from Cap, but not die, which is cool. He can play he can play old Steve Rogers down the road if he wants to.
We've had old Steve Rogers at the age of 100, who also went and, while at the ripe old age of 100, led S.H.I.E.L.D. And then via some cosmic cube, re-youthified and picked up the mantle again. Yeah. We also have an entire life of Steve Rogers, so we have the ability to easily have Steve Rogers' children as well now.
But I mean, in actuality, Chris Evans doesn't want to play the role anymore.
Correct.
And so we're going to recast it down the road.
Correct. But if he decides he wants millions upon millions of more dollars,
and Robert Downey Jr. is in his 60s, he can't play Iron Man anymore, and so we killed him off.
Correct.
So I don't know what we're going to do.
Williams, we can do Shuri in the suit. We can do...
You want Shuri in the suit.
I do want Shuri. I see that they're leading to Shuri in the suit because Shuri is her own character that has taken half of the ability of Black Panther T'Challa away. Let's do something with it.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. So So that's cool. Let's see, Scarlett Johansson she's gone. So Black
So
Widow is
Vision
retired.
is still dead. Vision is still dead and out. We may have downloaded his consciousness. We did not know how far Shuri got in that.
Yeah, so I don't know about that actor if they're out.
Gamora is still dead.
Maybe.
No, she is. We have an old version of her that we can't find, but the Gamora we know and love is dead, and that's the end.
Oh, because of the Soul Stone, yeah.
Yeah. Widow is dead. Widow is gone. Iron Man is dead. Iron Man is gone. Unless he said something or did something else within the snap that we don't know about, because Pepper seems pretty cool with him dying. And Cap is done, and his watch is over.
Yes. And so that leaves ragtag Avengers left. Mm-hmm. But, everybody was an Avenger at the battle scene. They all assembled, so we can get a new Avengers put together, a young Avengers, whatever we want to do, an uncanny Avengers. I'll take any of it.
Correct. And the other thing we got was the Asgardians of Galaxy.
Yes, which I watched that tomorrow.
Yes,
that looks fantastic.
We actually have a book, The Asgardians of Galaxy, which does not involve any of these characters, but I think we are going to have Guardians of the Galaxy 3 will be Thor in it.
Yeah, the chemistry and fun between Hemsworth and Pratt was great. Yeah, it was really great. So, yeah, I'll take more of that.
And Thor found his footing in Ragnarok when he became more of a Guardians of the Galaxy style movie. Yes.
Yeah. So it was fantastic. I'm glad. I'm sure you enjoyed it. If you're listening to this, what's next, Kyle? What's the next
Phase 4?
What's Phase 4?
We know we've got Guardians 3. We know we've got Black Panther 2.
Captain Marvel 2, I'm guessing.
Captain Marvel 2 is pretty much a guarantee as well. Then we have some.
But Black Panther 2 is going to be 5 years later than where it left off?
Hypothetically, yes. Half of Wakanda was alive and half of Wakanda was wiped out for 5 years.
Yeah, so it would have to be post-Fix-It.
Correct.
And we have to still have some of the remnants of everything that happened.
Correct.
Yeah, I don't know. It's comics, right? So we'll brush over some of those details, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So we know 3 movies probably that are solid, and that's it.
Yeah. We of course got Far From Home, which is the last Phase 3 movie we're being told.
Far From Home.
Spider-Man.
Again, Spider-Man is not a Marvel movie.
Well, that's the dumbest thing you've ever seen. It counts in the 22 that we led up to this with.
It's Sony property. They may have let him out, but it's still a Sony movie.
It is in the MCU. It is an MCU movie.
Still Sony.
Kevin Feige has literally said it is an MCU movie, and we are not releasing Phase 4 until the last Phase 3 movie comes out, which is Far From Home. So I'm not sure who you're arguing with here.
You.
Oh, well, I'm right, so you wrong.
I disagree. They I don't know. Anyway, let's talk about the trailers we saw.
Yeah.
We saw some cool trailers too.
Wait, I'm not really finished talking about Endgame yet.
Oh, okay.
Favorite Marvel movie, yes or no?
Yes, of course.
See, I do not. It didn't feel like. I woke up this morning and I was just like, huh. Because without a post-credit scene that we're not linking to anything, we don't really know what the future is. All this stuff has culminated and it's done.
Yeah. It's great.
I don't feel as good as I do at the end of Infinity War or Guardians 2 or Ant-Man. I just feel done more.
Yeah, you're wrong.
And it's going to be hard for me to watch this movie again.
Oh, I'm going to watch this movie multiple times. It's going to be hard for me to watch any of the old movies now. I don't want to watch any of them.
I can sit down and watch Ragnarok any day of the week, and it's just a joy. This is a heavy movie that I have to sit down and watch, and I have to commit 3 hours to. And it's epic, but man, it's a lot.
I'll put together a list of movies for you to watch. It'll be Thor 2, Iron Man 2,
Norton Hulk.
The Hulk. Oh, yeah, I'll put a list together, and you go ahead and watch those. I don't even think I want to watch the early Avengers again. You know, I mean, they just pale in comparison with this. This is
Avengers 1 is still dope.
Maybe. But yeah, this is I think it's definitely the best. I mean, it's the end. It's everything. It's all of it. So
they done good.
Yeah,
they paid a lot of things off.
It is finished.
Yep.
And so are we.
Yep. So are we. All in all, great flick. Can't beat it. Trailers in front of it. We saw lots of cool trailers. We saw Lion King. We saw Hobbs and Shaw. We saw Gemini Man. We saw Dark Phoenix. We saw anything else?
Star Wars on the screen was nice.
Star Wars. We saw the Flip in XD.
Yeah, that was pretty nice.
Yeah. Dark Phoenix looked much better in this trailer than I've seen.
What was the Will Smith thing?
Gemini Man.
Gemini Man, that was pretty good.
Yeah, Will Smith has been sent to kill Will Smith.
Yeah.
And you do not like anti-aging VFX. You hate them with a passion.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that look. It didn't really work for me. Yeah. I think every studio that had a movie that had any kind of crossover appeal with the audience for Avengers sent their trailer for this, because I bet you we had 50 freaking trailers.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was a lot.
Oh, we had Men in Black.
Yeah, the new Men in Black. Yeah. So I always like trailers on the big screen over my phone.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, so it was pretty neat. But yeah, great movie.
We hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we do, and we hope you made it to the end of this. And if you guys want to send us a message at the end of this, be part of the conversation. Is there something we missed when we watched it that we didn't quite catch? Is there something we talked about and I was completely wrong on? Which happens from time to time. Drop us a line, either Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Gmail account, or anything that can be found at comicsfunprofit.com. So I want to thank you guys for riding along with us through our review of Avengers Endgame. For Drew and for myself, see ya.